just enough to make you smile, and you need me to hold you close, and all your fears that you dream of will disappear and flutter on. Whoa, hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the riddle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. Hold on, stop. Hold on, stop. Just look on, and I'll look down, and all your fears have run aground. Then you said, all I ever wanted was to love like this. All I ever needed was to feel like something more than a closed door flat on the floor. I can offer so much more. All I ever wanted was to feel at ease. All I ever needed was to get up off my feet. 'Cause I believe in hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the brittle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. Hold on, stop. Hold on, stop. Hold on. Right here. Hold on. Right, stop.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mess me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it.
Hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to the NECC. I am your host this evening, Jaron Bell, and welcome to Overwatch Wednesdays. And of course, I want to say a big welcome to my main man. Send chills up and down your spines. Connor Breeze is here. I know you get tired of my puns, but I'm glad that you're here, buddy.
No, I love them. Keep them coming. New one every match.
I love it, man. I know at some point I'm going to run out of stuff, but tonight, what we're not going to run out of, see what I did there? That's a transition, folks. We have Hocking College coming in the Champions Division here in the Overwatch Wednesdays at the NECC, facing off against St. Ambrose University. Ladies and gentlemen, if you saw our match earlier tonight, which was a fantastic match, won by Central Methodist University, a little bit of a difference in the match they're going to see here tonight, Connor, as we switch to the Champions Division. Talk about what people are going to see in tonight's high-level Overwatch action.
Well, we got some very, very skilled players tonight. You saw some good team compositions earlier. You saw a lot of good work, combining ultimates, doing the things they have to do to, get good team fights in. A very close match earlier today. Well, this match is going to be very, very similar in the closeness, but worlds apart in terms of, how effective are they at their heroes? How effective are they about combining ultimates instead of using a bunch of ultimates? You'll see 2 ults at a time. You might see a counter ult here and there, but you're going to see a lot of high-skilled, big brain plays coming out tonight.
For sure. And one of the biggest things is going to be speed. The speed of this game, Connor, should be at a breakneck pace, and it's going to be interesting to watch how fast this game plays out.
Oh, for sure. It is going to be very, very high paced. It's going to be hard to keep up with everything that's going on at the screen at any given time. There's a lot of different intricate parts coming out from both sides, from the supports to the DPS to the tanks to how they're interacting with the other team to their positioning. Everything is going to be on a different level here tonight.
100%. And speaking of being on a different level, I did it again. Bang, bang. Being on a different level, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you to our sponsors and our partners that help us get to that next level. Our friends at Helix Esports, allowing us to be able to bring you the college esports action here. And of course, our linear TV partner, our friends at ESTV, now available on Samsung TV Plus and all Roku channels, bringing esports action from around the world 24/7 on their platforms, and the NFL Alumni Association. Past and present players from the NFL getting involved in esports right here. And Connor, I am so excited about tonight's match. And first of all, Connor, as we look back, as we go into week 3 here, looking back on what's happened, what do you think about the landscape of where NECC Overwatch is right now?
NECC Overwatch is split, into the Champions Division. And you know what? It's the 2 different divisions really kind of showcase all levels of play. But even at the lowest level of play, it is still an extremely high level of play here at the NECC. So it's very interesting to see that no matter what match you're watching, no matter who's playing, you're going to get a great, great Overwatch match between the 2 of them every time.
Absolutely. And for those people at home that haven't been here, our Champions Division is some of the top universities in the school: Hocking College, St. Ambrose, and of course the Boise States of the world in that top division. And then in the Challengers Division, we have set this up like Premier League soccer would be. Those teams in the Challenger Division with the opportunity to win that Challenger Division in the top 2 slots and move in to the Champions Division. So those schools that may have a young program will be able to move through. And honestly, Connor, the more we think about it, with that Champions Division and that Challengers Division and giving the opportunity for new programs to build up, I think it does nothing but is good for college esports, helping all these teams grow.
And creating all those competitions for these colleges, for these players, it creates such a high energy atmosphere for them that it is really a good feeling to be playing in these matches.
For sure, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you that you can follow us online on social media everywhere from Instagram over to Twitter at NECC Games. So you want to follow us there online. And of course, you can watch us live on ESTV or here on Twitch at twitch.tv/NECC Esports. Now, as we transition over into the game, while the teams select their heroes, let's look at the streets of Rialto. We touched on it in our first match. That first corner hard point is that first objective. Connor, what are you looking to see in this matchup right here?
So for this first matchup, you know, it's going to be interesting how they play. Oh, it looks like we were sent back to the lobby real quick, but it'll be very interesting to see how they play on that first point, that first push. It looks like, are we changing maps here? It looks like we're having some changes to our lobby. We brought it back to Rialto. So for that first point for Rialto, you're going to have to see a lot of, you know, there's different levels of control that you're going to need to have. You know, there's a lot of different high ground points in this map that you'll have to watch out for, both for the attackers and the defending team. It looks like we are going to be looking at, you know, a nice bridge in the beginning. It's a small choke point around a corner. So it's that first kind of corner is the hardest one to push through for this first point. And then from there, it's whichever team can keep momentum is going to take over here for sure.
As we look at which team is which color, let's look over at the blue team. Let's see. They're going to come out with Hanzo, Ryan Zarya, and of course that all important Ana and that Ashe, maybe going for that Ashe Mercy pocket. What are you seeing over there with the red team?
So it looks like red is St. Ambrose. You know, they're looking like a double shield composition with a Baptiste, Zen as their supports, Cloud and Sigma as their tanks, and it looks like a McCree Hanzo for their DPS. You know, something. Yep. Cloud Sigma. Quick mess up there. Cloud and Alyssa are their tanks here. A Rita Sigma combination here. Sigma with the eats. You know, they're bringing their Sigma shield to kind of get some distance on their shields there. Kind of push forward and push Hawking back as they move forward. Quick pick on the Ashe by Cloud there. You know, big Arissa plays. Ryan pushing up on St. Ambrose. You know, Baptiste lamp down. Sigma shield going down. Ryan res, and they're pushing back. It looks like they are picking Hawking apart a little bit here. Big anti could be in danger. McCree goes down. It is a 3v5 currently, but they are still holding back St. Ambrose here as they're pushing forward. Good Zarya bubble and another really good anti shatter, completely blocked by the Arissa shield, and anti is off and they are back to full health. Forward misses the sleep from Ana. Ashe looking for some high ground here from Doomfist, diving to Zenyatta in the back, but gets picked by the McCree with the flashbang. Dynamite goes down. Ashe gets picked by Hanzo. Cloud is also picked here. Sigma, Zen, and McCree are pushing forward with Baptiste in the back. Supercharger was down. They did not take advantage of it. Zen pops ult to save from that Dragons, but Zarya still gets picked. Same with main tank Reinhardt there, and it looks like supports are backing out from Hawking. St. Ambrose pushing forward here, really taking advantage of the space they've got with those picks right there.
And if that first point is anything what we're going to see in today's match, that was a lot of fighting back and forth. The huge 3v5 save by Hawking to try to hold that point and take some of that time off. We're going to see as it comes to the bridge. Let's see how this plays out. Pretty impressive play so far, Connor.
It looks like Hawking is backing up, you know, regrouping, and they're giving St. Ambrose some space and taking the fight to a more comfortable location, a little less open and a little more choked up. It looks like the shatter goes off and gets 3. They pick the Sigma, and they're pushing forward hard with the Doomfist. They now have dropped a grab. That Fire Strike picks 2 and then finishes off Baptiste with a quick swing. Arissa picked apart in the left room, could not get back to their team in time, and they're regrouping in spawn. Hawking, very good pushback, you know, bringing the momentum back in their way. Sonic Arrow from St. Ambrose. It looks like St. Ambrose has some ult advantage moving forward here. Doomfist from Hawking, using his ultimate to get back and get back to the team. It looks like High Noon, very aggressive up front, picks Zarya, and Reinhardt goes down as well from hacking. Mercy reses the Zarya, but it keeps moving back. Hawking being pushed back here. St. Ambrose being very, very aggressive on the push forward. Supercharger goes down, and there comes Dragons as well, separating the Mercy from the rest of the team. Mercy flies back, but takes a significant amount of damage doing so. And now they are just playing angles moving forward. Sigma pushes in on the Reinhardt, hits him with a rock. Flashbang comes out from McCree as well, but McCree goes down from the Torbjorn. Hanzo flanking right, getting some good shots in on what was Ryan and what's now Zarya. Torbjorn getting a little more aggressive here, going in after that Hanzo. Bob comes out from Hawking into the backline, takes down the Hanzo, and it looks like getting shots on Baptiste and Orisa as well. Lamp goes down, but Baptiste does not stay in it and gets taken down here. Orisa separated from the rest of their team here, and it looks like they're going to stagger back one at a time, and they're going to regroup for their next push here.
Connor, what a massive Bob on point. You think that St. Ambrose has all the momentum. They move forward, they push the cart almost right to that second checkpoint, and that Bob that comes on point allows Hawking to move forward and take back some of the momentum. Huge Bob play by the Ash there for sure.
Bob was used really well there, you know, splitting up the team, you know, kind of having them turn around and forcing them to split their attention. It was used really, really well. It looks like two ults coming out here, Sigma ult and Window from Baptiste. Orisa's firing through. They get 2 picks on the Ana and the Reinhardt. Shields go down. Reinhardt res by the Mercy. Mercy gets that res off in a dangerous positioning here. Orisa drops Supercharger, but gets shattered. High Noon coming out here from St. Ambrose. Huge pick on the Zarya here. Anti on from Hawking onto St. Ambrose, but they're pushing forward regardless. And it looks like Hawking is backing out here, trying to get a few picks on the way out. Mercy on Hawking is a little separated, but finally flies back to their team. Sonic Arrow comes out, so they know the positioning of Hawking. And St. Ambrose being very aggressive here on this corner. Wasted Gravitron coming from Hawking here, but Torbjorn drops down his ultimate and gets both tanks, and Hawking is cleaning up as we speak here. St. Ambrose is having to be pushed back as we speak.
And the word of the day has to be momentum today. That's one thing you have to love about high-class Overwatch action. Any team at any time can swing that momentum their way and win those points. Huge play.
Yeah, very big staggers coming out of Hawking there. St. Ambrose going to have to wait for their additional help coming back from Spawn. Good thing that Spawn is close by, and they'll be able to regroup fairly quickly here. Reinhardt pushing up from Hawking. Brig ulting, and here comes Dragons. Big anti-nade from Hawking. A double ult huge. Reinhardt pulled out of position here. Reinhardt goes down from the Storm Arrows. Looks like Zarya is nanoed, so she's putting out big damage right now. Res on the Reinhardt. Hawking looks like they're holding pretty firmly at this corner as we speak. And Ambrose backing up. And Ambrose regrouping here, moving forward. That Torb turret is just getting some basic damage down. It's not quite zoning, but it is definitely becoming a problem as it has free range. Lamp goes out early, is destroyed, but there goes Ryan's barrier as well. Ryan and Zarya go down to that Sigma ult. High Noon comes out as well, picks the Ana. Mercy goes down, Torbjorn goes down, just the turret left. Breaks the Sigma shield before it goes down, and now they are pushing. Hawking has one last attempt to stop this payload here. Let's see if they can get a good push out coming back from Spawn. Baptiste drops Window and pushes in. Breaks Window, or breaks Ryan's shield. Bob goes down. Rez comes out from Mercy. Torbjorn ults on point, making St. Ambrose split, but they stay together. They're pushing 4v4. Baptiste goes down. Main healer goes down. Sigma gets grabbed. Cloud comes out of grab, pushes on the Zarya. Cloud's all that's left, and that is a C9. It looks like they got that point in the nick of time.
Wow, and what a play! What a play there at the end to push through. And for St. Ambrose, pure aggression, Connor. Before we wait to see what the heroes comp is going to be in this next round. I mean, what are you seeing right now? Because for me, I'm seeing St. Ambrose just putting the pedal to the floor in pure aggression right now so far.
They are just taking every inch of ground they could get that round. You know, every time Hawking let up a little bit off the gas or they had ult advantage, they just kept pushing that payload further and further forward, and it is a tough thing to play against.
Absolutely, absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, we are a best of 3 series here. So as we go to look, we will look at Hawking making the changes, dropping that first round of this map. They stay with the Torbjorn, they go Ryan, Zarya, they bring the Hanzo and the Ana and the Mercy out. What are you seeing over there from St. Ambrose right now?
St. Ambrose, you know, they're sticking with the Orisa Sigma composition. You know, double shield is a very strong team comp nowadays. They also have a Widow. You got to be careful for getting those picks that are outside of shield. You know, Widow can be an absolute game changer. They kept the Baptiste and Brig, you know, to keep that lamp and keep that brawl going. And it looks like they continued with the McCree. Now, it looks like they're going, they're holding left side, trying to decide which way to go. 3 of them on payload from Hawking. They're pushing forward. All of them are going to payload now. None are flanking around. St. Ambrose backing up, giving up some space on the corner to let their shields recharge. Sigma shield goes down. Torbjorn turret in the background, getting some shots off. It looks like Zarya is using personal. Shields are breaking. They're just some quick picks. I heard a sleep, but it did not look like it connected. They're just playing very safe. Torbjorn with the high ground, getting behind shield. Brig goes down from Zarya. Lamp out from Baptiste. Orisa keeps continuing to push back. Ryan goes down, but they get the res off. They are still pushing, but there goes Zarya. No res for Zarya. It looks like Hawking backing inside to give themselves a second to have shields recharge. Have supports come back, and now it looks like a continued 5v5. Torbjorn turret goes down as well. Torbjorn flanking around the far side. We'll see if he has anything to say about it. Reinhardt continuing to push that corner, gets flashbang. Shield looking low. Zarya uses bubble again. It looks like Torbjorn is being dealt with. A big shatter coming out here. Orisa forces herself through it with Harden. It looks like Window's coming out, but here comes a counter dragon from Hawking and picks 2, including Immortality Field. Baptiste still fighting with Sigma and Hanzo. Hanzo goes down, Sigma goes down, and they all go down. It looks like Hawking's going to take this first point.
And Connor, one of the things I want to point out there, how about that Reinhardt? Like you called it out, that shield low, getting behind that payload, using that payload as cover with that weak shield, and then able to recharge, popping out, using a massive shatter. And because of it, Hawking wins that team fight right there, I think.
Being able to use your environment to your advantage is a key thing to this game. You know, there's a lot of different vantage points. There's a lot of different things that can go wrong. And for example, shatter goes through cart. Not everyone knows that, so if Reinhardt is sitting behind cart, he has coverage, but he can still hit you with a shatter, so you got to keep shields up and be careful there. Reinhardt's doing a great job playing his angles and saving his shield, but it is a dangerous thing to deal with. Big pin on the McCree. They're up 1, although they are backing off, waiting for Zarya Hanzo to get a little closer with their team. They're pushing forward again. Zarya uses her bubble to get some charge off. Here comes Dragons across the bridge, doing a great job through splitting Hawking. But there it is, just like I said, coming through payload with a big shatter. Here comes Grab as well. They're getting some big damage off here. Torbjorn drops his ultimate on the team. Zarya takes out Hanzo, and it looks like they're going to push forward once again. Hawking with an absolutely great team play here moving forward.
And Connor, they drop all those ults there, but you know you have to be leery because in this next team fight, they're going to come back. They're going to have Window. They're going to have that Brig ult, and of course having that High Noon, and the Sigma almost having his ult as well. We're going to see how this plays out.
St. Ambrose dropping down window, pushing forward. Ryan pushing to the left side of window, kind of LOSing that sight line there. Mercy keeping heals on that Ryan, knowing he's in the front lines, keeping tanks up. Hanzo in the background. High Noon coming out from St. Ambrose. He's walking forward and picks the Rhine. And here comes a Sigma ult that gets taken out by the Zarya, canceling it out. Torbjorn going far side. Hanzo taking over the Mercy. Lamp goes down by Baptiste. Orisa holding strong on the payload. A very high charge Zarya fighting with him now. Pulls, trying to keep Zarya from getting out. Zarya gets staggered by a Brig, and Reinhardt's on his way out again, just coming back from spawn. It looks like St. Ambrose is going to hold here very firmly.
And again, like we talked about, those ults getting charged. They didn't have the ults to compete. And wow, what an impressive move right there by St. Ambrose.
They're also taking high ground now. Instead of fighting below corner, they are giving up some position behind them, letting Hawking move backwards and taking the stairs. Dragon going towards the stairs to LOS and then bringing them back down to low ground. Another Dragon coming back, trying to take some major damage off of St. Ambrose, but Lamp goes down and saves them. Mercy gets picked by Orisa. Huge shatter again. Hawking having some big shatters here, but not being able to finish on that shatter right there. The Nano does come out though, but it takes too long to get to the enemy team. At most, it was used as a heal, but it looks like Hawking is pushing forward regardless, taking that payload to the next point. Orisa taking some minor shots, just poking. Zarya being very liberal with her uses of bubbles, trying to get that get that charge up so she can be doing as much damage as possible. Lamp goes down early. Pushing at the corner. Hanzo was picked, but rezzed by Mercy. Anti-nade comes down on Sigma, but seems to be all right for the time being. Here comes an ult, but here comes High Noon as well. Reinhardt goes down from Hawking, and it looks like Hawking's being pushed back to the corner. Let's see if there can be capitalized. McCree is down. Fairly evenly matched for that team fight right there. It seems fairly even. No one's making much headway in either direction. Orisa being a little aggressive, pushing forward now. Here comes Grav. They're all grabbed. Anti-nade too as well, but there's that back window. But Torbjorn cleans up once Lamp is broken, and they clean up there. They might get one last touch here before the end. Let's see if they can capitalize, or let's see if Hawking pushes all the way to the end. Huge Dragons for that LOS factor on the cart, but let's see if it moves. It is stopped currently because of ball. Great touch by St. Ambrose here. Big shatter as well. You know, they've been hitting a lot of shatters all night tonight, but it looks like Hawking is doing a good job of getting that damage out there. Lucio and McCree go down. Let's see if Tracer gets a touch, but it looks like they're not going to have enough time to continue, and it looks like it's tied up 3-3, minute 59 on the clock for Hawking, 1 minute for St. Ambrose.
And Connor, for the people at home right now that might not understand, explain to them while we're at 3-3 and they see that 159 for Hawking and that 1 minute. Explain to them how these final 2 rounds will go.
So for these final 2 rounds, each team has that remaining time, 159 for Hawking, 1 minute for St. Ambrose, to push that payload as far as they possibly can in that remaining time. And then from there, that will help determine, you know, how far the payload goes will determine, you know, whether or not it's a win or lose for these teams.
Absolutely. And Connor, one of the things that I want to touch on that we just saw from that last time, 2 different times did we see Torbjorn drop the Molten Core into a Grav and won each of those team fights. So you would think for Hawking, from them as they move forward, that Torbjorn Grav combo is going to be something that they're going to have to watch out for here.
Oh, for sure. Torbjorn's ultimate alone is a great zoning tool to try to keep an area off limits for the other team. But, you know, combine that with a Grav where they can't walk out of it, you get rid of Lamp. That is a high damaging ult if you cannot escape.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it looks It looks like they will stay Torbjorn, Ryan, Zarya, and they'll stay Sigma and Orisa on the other side. Let's see how it goes. Let's get into it.
It looks like they pulled out a Zenyatta. This will be interesting burst damage. Let's see if they can get their Discord orbs to be used very effectively here. Sigma with a great eat on the Fire Strike, taking away that ultimate charge from the Reinhardt. Reinhardt's shatters have been a problem for St. Ambrose to deal with, seeing as they cannot use a Rein to block the shatters coming forward. He's doing a great job of landing those and getting some good damage in. Reinhardt goes down though. The flashbang from the McCree is a deadly thing when there's no shield. There goes Zarya as well. With no tanks for Hawking. Mercy goes down. Main healer is down. Ana cannot escape, and it looks like they're just staggering backwards as of right now. Reinhardt may even be in a bad way here because they are coming back from spawn. It looks like they're going to regroup and have just enough time to get respawned before this point is taken.
And unlike other game modes, as they hit those checkpoints, they will not get extra time. It'll move to overtime here, but as long as they have that movement and the control of the payload moving forward, Connor, correct me if I'm wrong, but they get to go as far as they can while they're in this overtime.
That is correct. One player has to be on payload at all time for St. Ambrose here, and then as long as they have someone on payload, they will be able to continue moving and continue fighting. So a team wipe would be devastating here and now, and that's what Hawking needs to stop this match from progressing further. Hanzo staggered on Hawking, and it looks like they'll have to regroup and push again. St. Ambrose making some dangerous headway here, going in overtime. The switch to ball for a little more motion and a little more protection of the payload. Molten Core coming out again from the high ground, but it looks like St. Ambrose is very split currently, but they're playing well as a unit. McCree has been slept on the side. Ball doing what Ball does best, swinging on payload, but it looks like Hawking's going to retake control of that payload and end that round.
And Connor, just like you said before, that Molten Core from Torbjorn, so crucial in zoning and splitting teams. St. Ambrose has all the momentum moving forward. That Molten Core comes down from the high ground, splits the team, and Hawking able to capitalize and end it and says, go no farther. And we switched sides. What an impressive play by that Torbjorn there.
Yeah, in a situation where you cannot leave a specific area, if a Torbjorn decides you're no longer walking in that area, that is a hard thing to deal with moving forward.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have, this will be the final round for Hawking College. They have the opportunity to move this payload. They have to get to right past where St. Ambrose took this cart. And right now, what are you seeing in this match so far? If you're Hawking, what are you doing?
If I'm Hawking, I'm being patient. You know, I have an extra minute more than St. Ambrose has, you know, and I would take that time to really make sure that I'm winning team fights effectively. I'm not having any unnecessary ults. I'm not wasting, you know, life. I'm not staggering myself, and we're playing cohesively as a team. And I would make sure that we're not making any little mistakes that St. Ambrose can capitalize on here.
Well, we're 5 seconds away from determining who is going to win this first map of this best-of-3 series. Let's jump right into the action right now.
Sigma from St. Ambrose doing a very good job of eating those fire strikes moving forward. You know, taking away that extra ultimate charge. You know, that those shatters have been very important for Hawking, you know, winning team fights. So being able to take away any extra charge possible is always a good thing. St. Ambrose backing up to the corner here, just doing damage to shields, but Reinhardt hiding behind payload, making sure his shield is at full as much as he can. He's up in the front. McCree goes down from St. Ambrose, so does Lamp. It looks like Torbjorn on the right side flanking. Hawking's pushing forward, St. Ambrose backing up. It looks like Hanzo also goes down. It looks like it's a 6v4. Zenyatta goes down, that's a 6v3, and Hawking is moving forward very aggressively here, taking advantage of everything they have. Great nade by the Hawking Ana, you know, keeping their team up and anti-ing the last person that's contesting payload. They have 60 seconds to push it further than St. Ambrose this round. Let's see if they can make it there. 52 seconds on the clock.
And if you're St. Ambrose here, you've got about 1 or 2 more team fights, 3 if you're lucky, but you've got to win this fight right now. And so this regroup right here, Connor, is going to be crucial to see what they try to do.
It looks like St. Ambrose taking the high ground again. They're not afraid to kind of give up a little space on that objective. Onto bridge and dropping now to corner. Great plays by the Orisa, you know, blocking themselves from being shattered, but two teammates get shattered. They survive through it because of a lamp. Lamp goes down because of Torbjorn. They drop window to get that extra damage out there, and down goes Ryan. Here comes a dragon. Ryan gets res. McCree and Zen go down. Orisa goes down. Sigma ult goes off, does some great damage to the opposing team, but does not get anyone picked. Ryan shield getting low, but it is Sigma. Hanzo is the last two. High Noon coming back from the spawning McCree. Ball and Lucio get a push. Hanzo's back in the fight. Sigma's crawling in the middle right now. Here comes Molten Core. He does it in front of the payload, trying to prevent anyone from getting to the payload, but those anti-nades are dangerous. It looks like St. Ambrose takes that fight in a very assertive way.
Wow. Connor, and as we get ready, I mean, we have some things to talk about here, but let's watch this play of the game and walk people through what you're seeing for this massive Zarya play here.
Zarya has a very crucial off tank in this game. Lots of damage, and her ultimate being able to hold an entire team hostage if played right can be extremely hard to deal with. You know, that 72 ult charge or 72 charge there, you know, doing 75% of her maximum damage, you know, is absolutely devastating. Does just as much damage as a lot of DPS out there, and you know, can be a really hard thing to deal with, especially when she has both of her bubbles intact moving forward.
And Connor, wow, what a first start. That is high quality action right there. And I honestly, I thought Hockey was going to pull it off, just right like you said before, at the goal line, gets shut down at the goal line. And I'm going to touch on Hawking, then I'll have you touch on St. Ambrose. For me, Hawking, I know they fall short right there in the first map as we get ready to go to Hollywood for the second map. But for me, I think for Hawking, it has to be their Rhine play. You can tell that they are grouping behind that Rhine and moving forward. As that Rhine goes is how Hawking plays. What are you seeing from the St. Ambrose side that was able to counter that?
St. Ambrose, I think their Orisa is doing fantastic work, kind of working with their team, but, you know, not, you know, staying in one position too much, just holding left click mindlessly. They're repositioning themselves pretty often, and they're taking the high ground as much as they can. And I feel like they must be really communicating with their team, telling them what's going on, what's going to happen, and being able to work their shield in front of some of those shatters, you know, is a very important thing that they have to deal with, because Reinhardt is something that is difficult to deal with as somebody that can't just put up a shield directly in front of the rest of their team.
Absolutely. High, energetic action right here on Overwatch Wednesdays as St. Ambrose University takes map 1 in this best of 3 series. Ladies and gentlemen, we will play all 3 maps no matter what, as map wins will go towards playoff seeding as we get towards the playoff. But while we're here, we do want to remind you that 5 days a week you can catch NECC Collegiate Esports action right here on multiple platforms. On Monday nights, you'll have Madden. Tuesday night, Valorant, of course. Overwatch Wednesdays with myself and Connor Breeze here. And then Thursdays, you will see League of Legends, and we wrap everything up as we put the racetracks, put the cars on the track, and we drop the ball as we have Rocket League on Friday Night Live here in the NECC. As we go through the streets, let's jump in, and as we go through the streets of Hollywood, first of all, Connor, I love the way this map looks. I think it is a beautiful map. And talk to people about that first door as they get ready for this next round.
So this is a very interesting first point. There is a long way to go from spawns through that first door for the attacking team. And then it is a point that you have to fight over pretty relentlessly to move that payload forward. So it looks like the first real choke point is this main archway for Goldshire Studios. It is, you know, a very tight location to push through, and it can be difficult if the defending team is doing a good job, you know, applying pressure and stopping them from getting any forward motion there.
And for St. Ambrose, like you said in the pregame before this, that Orisa's huge play, as they come out with the Orisa Sig as well, they do switch, bring a Tracer into play with the Zenyatta. What do you see? What's going to be countered for Hawking over there?
Well, for Hawking, you know, the Rhine is obviously doing a great job. You know, Torbjorn can be very effective at this map. And, you know, having good sleeps and good antis from your Ana is always something to look out for. Tracer is going to be able to get some good picks in the background, cause some issues, and force that Reinhardt to have to turn around and not focus as much on what's going on in front of him as worrying about keeping his supports alive in the background. Tracer taking shots at the Ana already. Orisa pushing forward on that corner, kind of playing that corner very safely, pulling the Mercy. Tracer still in the background fighting with Torb, recalling. Contessa moving forward. Down goes Zarya. Reinhardt being pushed inside. It looks like the Rez gets off though. Rez is Zarya, and they're fighting in that stairwell there. Although great nade coming from Ana. Anti's half of St. Ambrose. And it looks like Hawking's back in a good position. Zenyatta out of position, you know, stuck away from his team, and it looks like Hawking's going to keep that point.
And Connor, like you said, how about Connor, just touch again on that nade. Explain to people how huge is that, because they were losing that point. There was no chance they were going to be able to hold that. And that play right there in that stairwell, I mean, it changed the landscape of that team fight.
The fact that your healers become irrelevant once you're anti-naded is a very, very scary thing to deal with. You know, the only thing that Ambrose can do about it would be, you know, maybe use a Zarya, put a bubble on them. If they had a Reaper, the Reaper could fade out of it, but there's not much they can do with their current setup to get rid of that anti-nade. The only thing they could possibly do would be throw down Lamp and then hope that they survive. Sigma ulting gets Zarya and Rhine. Big damage on both of them. Huge shatter. Shatters 3. Lamp goes down with that play there. High Noon comes out from behind shield. Picks the Reinhardt. Zarya gets picked as well. Molten 4 coming out from the Torbjorn. Reinhardt Rez. It looks like Orisa has rotated to the back end, fighting with that Reinhardt, really taking control of the points. So Orisa backs up. Reinhardt pushing into that hallway. Close quarters with the Reinhardt is a lot of damage to deal with. Zenyatta, low, backs off. And it looks like Hawking keeps this point with Reinhardt's aggressive play, pushing them back inside. Taking the high ground now. Tracer back from spawn. Recalls. Sigma, no more grass. Reinhardt pushing up the stairs. Picks McCree and Zenyatta go down. It looks like St. Ambrose are going to have to back up here. This is a very, very tough point to push onto, especially with this Rhine playing as well as he's playing.
Absolutely. And how about right there on that fight, how about the Rhine dropping a massive shatter, getting picked off, and then while the Molten Core drops to split the team, the huge res win this team fight. Right now for Hawking, they are playing as a team, and it's impressive as the Dragon comes out to split them again.
Dragon comes out to split, but here comes the Zenalt and hits only McCree with that shatter. Big anti again on the tanks. Orisa low, going to be healing in just a second. Sigma gets slept out of his ultimate. Reinhardt discorded, backing up. Orisa anti, but at full health, half health, pushes through, gets the Reinhardt. Ana picks the Orisa, and then Zarya comes out to play. Mercy Zarya in that room gets picked. Reinhardt res. This is some absolutely massive play by the supports on Hawking right now. Great anti-nades, great sleeps, great reses. You know, I couldn't ask for a better support duo than what their performance is right now.
Connor, I think I love the way that you put that, because right now the way that the multiple Mercy reses that have turned the tables on a team fight, and the Ana nades that won that early team fight when they got those few picks against them, I mean, it's impressive. Like you said, the supports are absolutely, I could not agree more.
Not to even mention that Sigma was slept out of his ultimate by that Ana.
Massive.
High Noon coming out. Picks the Mercy. That can be very dangerous with only an Ana to heal. Tracer on the high ground, blinking around. Hawking is split. Reinhardt's in a bad way, but charges into it and kicks the Baptiste and decides to contest the payload. Torbjorn in the background with a great placement of his turret, causing absolute havoc in the background. It looks like St. Ambrose is going to take that team fight, and Hawking's going to have to push back and win it again.
Absolutely. I think if you're Hawking right now, you have to be happy with the way how long it took them to get control of this payload, as you just want to slow them out before they try to get to this next checkpoint.
Minute 27 before they have to reach the next checkpoint. They're making decent time here, but you know, Hawkington have to continue to keep up the pressure and hit massive shatters like that one. Great lamp by the Baptiste. Here comes the grab before Zarya dies. Another molten core, but here comes Zenyatta ult. Anti-nade so they can't get healed. This can be absolutely turned. Oh, it doesn't matter. St. Ambrose is just walking through all that devastation and being able to survive on the way through to the point. Orisa even pushing forward to spawn.
And Connor, just like we talked about, Connor, that massive grab bolted core that won so many team fights, you have to give it to St. Ambrose, able to counter that because it happened to them in that first match. They don't let it happen here. Massive play by St. Ambrose.
You know, that Zenyatta ultimate is really saving them a lot right now. That Zenyatta ultimate is going to get them through those molten cores, going to get them through those shatters. It is doing a great job of keeping them alive through these team fights. They have a Doom in the background now as well. Big Sigma ult gets picked by the McCree, but ult still gets off, and then lots of damage is done. It looks like Hawking's going to have to back up here. Let's see. Mercy gets staggered. Can Hanzo get out? Tracer does not let Hanzo get out. Big stagger on the Hanzo. And now Orisa and McCree pushing forward and holding that front left stairwell. Trying to keep Hawking in spawn the best they can. Doomfist on the high ground in the background looking to drop on the supports. Goes after the Zen, but gets out first. Dragon's coming through. Zenyatta. Anti, low health. Lamp comes down by Baptiste, but goes down. Lamp is broken. Hawking has a lamp of their own now, keeping them alive through this fight. Orisa goes down. Hawking retakes point with a minute left.
Oh, Connor, both these teams in all the matches we've seen just so crucial back and forth and winning those team fights at the last minute to try to just save time. That was a massive play there by Hawking.
Tracer still in point, fighting with Doomfist, finally gets out. A little late on the grasp for that fire strike, but they're pushing forward as is. Healing on Orisa as they push forward. Orisa drops Supercharger, starts doing damage. Reinhardt using a great job using that wall to save him. And then great Zen ultimate there because the shatter was coming. I feel like he knew it was coming, so he pressed his ultimate button and really saved his team there. Although they are getting damage by that Doomfist in the background, doing a severe amount of damage, picking the Zen, picking the McCree. You know, Tracer goes down as well from the Ana, loses that battle. Doomfist still dropping down on Baptiste, takes out Baptiste. It looks like Orisa's gonna have to make a push to push it in overtime. Never mind, Lucio gets there. Lucio great at contesting, but was not enough. Those combos from Ana have been doing a severe amount of damage. And it looks like Hawking is doing a great job preventing St. Ambrose from getting to this point, and that'll be round one.
And Connor, for St. Ambrose, not able to get the cart the entire length of the timeline for that payload. And how about the switch? You know, they fight and the supports keep them alive, but how about the switch to the Doomfist there, basically right inside the goal line, not much time left, and they make the Doom switch, which allows them to have, and then we saw the Nano Doom there towards the end to just not let them get on point to contest. Massive play, and what a play call by Hawking there towards the end of that round.
Doomfist has such a high pick potential. You know, he's got some one-shot combinations. He's got multiple one-shot combinations. You know, his normal punch, if he's got time to charge it up and get a good punch off, he can one-shot pretty much any squishy character in this game. He is a very dangerous character to play against, and if you get him nanoed against tanks, he's just as viable as any other DPS.
And we here at the NEC, we're not against squishy players because I'm a little squishy myself, but we're getting ready. Let's look at Hawking. They're going to come out. They do make the change, Connor. They bring the Mei into play, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as they stay with that Ryan Zarya combination.
It looks like they're going to be using the Mei to attempt to block off some points of the map and kind of split their team. You know, having that extra shield is not a bad thing. especially with the amount of damage that's coming out here. They have an Ashe on the high ground here. That could prove problematic for Ashe, you know, blocking that line of sight, you know, stopping shots from coming off. They also have, it looks like, already using bubbles and Sonic Arrow to reveal the enemy's composition and location. You know, kind of soft fighting that corner, pushing forward. Ryan's shield going down. Maywall comes up to get that extra push. Huge nade by Ana, like we said earlier. You know, the Ana nades are becoming problematic for St. Ambrose to deal with here, but they back off. They didn't like that push. They're waiting for their cooldowns. They're going to go back again. Reinhardt eats a rock to the face and get his health back and then push forward again. Sigma being very aggressive here, pushing into that small room, trying to get some damage off on the Baptiste in the background. Maywall used to line of sight St. Ambrose. They're going to push left here, it looks like, and flank to the backside. That Torb turret having Ryan put his shield up and move slower. They finally got the turret down, and they are pushing onto point. Lamp use Discord on Baptiste here. It looks like they're trying to damage down those supports. May ice blocks herself to get some quick healing. Uses that wall to get some ticks off on point. St. Ambrose goes to the high ground and drops. Orisa slept, but back awake now after taking some damage. Lamp goes down. Window comes out from Hawking from their Baptiste, and it looks like Hawking has the advantage here. Reinhardt nanoed in the background on Sigma. St. Ambrose could not hold this point. Minor C9 there. They were just too split off payload. There was nothing they could do about it. It looks like Hawking pushing the payload forward now at breakneck speeds.
And Connor, for those people that are watching at home, they might be hearing some terminology that they're not used to. Things like LOS, things like C9. Could you quickly explain to those people what that means so they understand moving forward?
So LOS is basically just using line of sight. So, you know, hiding behind walls to take less damage and reduce your vision from the opponent. It looks like St. Ambrose picks the May here. Could be an interesting push forward. C9 is reference to a team Cloud9 that lost a very important match by forgetting about the payload and pushing too far forward, and basically the team went around and took the payload away from them while they were so pushed forward, and they lost the game because they weren't touching payload. So whenever a team doesn't touch payload at the end of a match, or basically any time where they could get the point taken from them and they could have touched but they don't, that is referred to as a C0.
And a massive blizzard on cart there that does get saved by the Zenyatta ult. What an impressive play that we missed there. And now the Ryan is nanoed, but gets picked on him. Dragons come out.
Orisa 1v1s the Hanzo and lives because of her Fortify. It looks like St. Ambrose going to protect this point once again. Torbjorn with the great turret placement, you know, great views, you know, really able to cause some havoc and get some extra damage in, you know, without being in harm's way. It's a really strategic placement that he can go off cooldown onto. As you can see here, they're just quickly poking. Fire Strike comes out, does not get eaten. Hanzo goes low. Been about 15 seconds, no heal on the Hanzo. Hanzo finally starting to get looked at by the supports. Hanzo taking the high ground here. Going to the 6-4. It looks like they were playing this slow. It looks like St. Ambrose is just holding them at that doorway. And it looks like Hawking is going to the top floor, and they're going to try to drop down on St. Ambrose. It looks like a very aggressive brawl play here. Here comes the May wall and the grab. Lots of ultimates being used here. That anti-nade was devastating moving forward. That anti-nade kept them all 1 health with no ability to be healed. That Reinhardt, all he had to do was left click his way through that. He did a fantastic job of setting up that anti-nade, and that anti-nade was perfectly timed with that grab. Hit them hard, and they didn't know how to get out of it.
Connor, I think one thing, you have to think that was a play call. They had seen that in their practicing. They knew that that was an option there at that center, and they just executed it perfectly to win that and take control as they move forward.
They were definitely willing to use a little bit of time to set up that play and make sure that it was set up the way they wanted it to be. They were willing to take that time and position themselves in a way that they felt like they had the best chance of winning. And it looks like they're going through that same kind of strategy again, going inside, kind of leaving payload for a moment. to try to get a better position against St. Ambrose here moving forward. Turret goes down and looks like rotating positions here. Nano on the Zarya. Zarya Nano is a very scary sight. They're pushing the Halo forward because St. Ambrose can't get to it. Body blocking the Zenyatta. Zenyatta staying with the team, but they're getting pushed in anyway, and it looks like Halo is just being taken while the team fight happens completely elsewhere. It looks like a couple of St. Ambrose is going to be put out of position here. They're going to spawn separate from each other. Zenyatta and Hanzo got the long walk back. Well, Orisa and Torb and Sigma. And now, Baptiste gets a long walk back, gets picked early by a charge, and Reinhardt from Hawking pushing forward very, very aggressively, leaving Ana on point to push it forward while they fight it out. Torbjorn using his ultimate, trying to get Hawking to back up, give them some space so they can start pushing through. Mei goes down, 6v5 pushing forward here. Hawking, knowing this, backs up. Another big anti-nade from Hawking. St. Ambrose backs off after not being able to heal. Window comes out by St. Ambrose, but big sleep on that Sigma Mei wall prevents them from shooting any further. Reinhardt does go down though, and so does Hanzo and Hawking. St. Ambrose is pushing forward pretty aggressively here. Takes the Zarya. Mei goes down as well. Ana's attempting to get out. Mei be staggered here. Pulled by the Orisa. Uses the nade on herself, and Reinhardt gets out just in time to stop the Ana from being staggered. St. Ambrose backing up to a more comfortable position here. Turret behind Dumpster. Broken by Mei, but Supercharger comes out by Orisa, and here comes the Sigma ultimate. Dragon from the side here. Takes out Torbjorn. Hanzo goes down as well from Zen. Zen uses his ultimate to get as much healing as possible. Orisa gets left. Anti-nade also massive. Sigma goes down. It looks like it is a 4v3 with a Hanzo in the background. Mei is the last on payload and goes down. St. Ambrose takes control again with 28 seconds left on the clock.
Enemy turret ahead.
Looks like Hawking has one last full push left before this match is over. Let's see if they can make something happen here. Only having Mei ultimate, with St. Ambrose only having window coming up in the near future. Hanzo almost goes down there. Reinhardt almost goes down. Mei dies, but gets the freeze off. Let's see if they can capitalize. Orisa gets hurt. Lamp goes down. Reinhardt goes down from Hawking. St. Ambrose doing a very good job contesting this point here. It is coming down to the goal line here. Drops Supercharger. And they hold. St. Ambrose takes that map.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. As we get ready to look at the play of the game, let's take a look and see what they did. It is the Hanzo. Let's see how it plays out.
We're getting some good shield damage, but here comes the great headshot, and then here comes Dragon. Focuses that immortality field, something very important. Misses a few shots on the Hanzo there, but otherwise that was a fantastic play of the game, you know, really doing what he needs to do.
Absolutely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so that is 2-0 for St. Ambrose, but we will play this third map, which, Connor, for Hawking, you have to think that you have to be excited about the season moving forward, as both these matches, even though you lost both those maps, so close. You barely lost both of those.
These are very, very close games here. You know, they're staying very competitive, you know, and I think it's just some minor tweaking on their end, and they'd be back in this winning matches. I think this is going to be great so they can see the little things they need to work on moving forward, and then they can watch the film and review it and kind of see where they went wrong, you know, what things they could have done better, and really bring this back for their next match.
And Connor, as I looked at that match and the way it played out, I thought the Mei move was a huge move for Hawking. I thought I saw a lot of separation, some massive blizzards that just maybe weren't capitalized on. Where do you think things went wrong for Hawking there?
For Hawking, I mean, they had some really, really good plays. You know, it was something where they had a good composition. They just couldn't capitalize quite enough on any mistakes that St. Ambrose was making, or they couldn't capitalize enough on, you know, some good opportunities to push forward. I think they had a really good play with their Reinhardt. Their Reinhardt was working very, very well, and they were playing very well as a team. I just think there's some minor adjustments that would need to be made, maybe some counters and things like that that would make it very difficult for, you know, St. Ambrose to continue moving forward against their competition.
For sure. Ladies and gentlemen, this next map, as we move down and we check out Lijiang Towers, first of all, this map still counts. A different map mode, as you see that objective in the middle there in that nice, beautiful building. This is a beautiful map. One of the teams needs to take control of this map, hold it till that ticker gets to 100% to be able to win this. There'll be 3 rounds. I mean, Connor, if you're Hawking, I know that you're beaten down. You're beat down 2-0. You have to be sad. You have to be beaten down. But you have to know that there's playoff opportunities, and you have to go up and win this as we get ready to go right now.
It's another great thing about the NECC, you know, every match matters. It's not something where it's just you're playing to play. We give reason to everything you do, and I think that helps teams, you know, play harder, have better competition, things like that, and they will continue trying no matter what the odds are. And I think this team is very, very close compared to the team they're playing against. I think they just need to keep working hard, and I think they'll get something done big here. Big May wall coming out from Hawking. Lots of symmetric turrets in the front doors. It's going to be hard for St. Ambrose to push forward here. Reinhardt doing a good job using the wall to his advantage, getting those fire strikes out. Zen goes low on St. Ambrose, but hides behind the wall to keep his heals up. Looks like McCree goes down on St. Ambrose from Symmetra. Symmetra doing some big damage against that double shield. It's a very good pick here against double shield, especially in these close corners areas. Monkey also diving. Baptiste window already coming out. Big anti-nades here. That Anna's doing as much as she can. It looks like she also hit a sleep before Baptiste rounded the corner. That was a fantastic use of sleep. Baptiste goes down from Hawking. And it looks like they'll be down a main healer moving forward. And it looks like St. Ambrose knows this and is getting very aggressive pushing forward. Cloud's got to be careful about those symmetric turrets, though. Lots of damage is being done. Reinhardt goes down. Cloud half health. May using her ice block to contest for as long as possible. Symmetra also contesting. Baptiste also contesting, trying to get as many percentages on point as possible. Winston's back, and they're just going to continue to try to stagger on point to get as much as they can contested, using Primal to try to stay alive here and basically keep the point going. Reinhardt now back, and they can just keep contesting this point as long as they touch it. Great fortify by Arissa there, stopping Reinhardt from charging onto point and keeping them off point so they can take possession here. 61% to 6% moving forward. Hawking.
And if you're St. Ambrose right here, you have to try to push through here and take control of this one to try to stay alive.
Waiting on Baptiste, staggered in that last fight, unfortunately.
Cease your resistance.
Hawking's gonna start using some ult now that they have advantage, but here comes the sneaky shatter. Absolutely massive shatter. Here comes High Noon as well. Hawking, it was not enough. It looks like St. Ambrose just had ult advantage there and was able to capitalize just slightly better, even though they were surprised by that Reinhardt play there. Monkey separated from his team, won't be able to get out, will be staggered here. Let's try to make sure that Reinhardt and Baptiste get out in a safe place so they can push forward as a team again and not be staggered moving forward, waiting for Monkey to get back. Doomfist almost picked but got out with half health. Fire Strike goes through again. It looks like Baptiste window and Sigma ult here. Moira trying to get as many heals on Reinhardt as possible, but it was not enough. It looks like St. Ambrose are being a little more dominant here now that they have taken control of the point. 72-61. Tried to get a sneaky steal, but they could not take point. Doomfist still stuck. May get staggered here trying to... Oh, he got staggered. He tried to punch out, but could not get out in time. About 88% left here. Last 10% moving forward. This is Hawking's last chance to get a push here. Dragons to LOS that corner of the map, forcing them back through that main doorway. Baptiste looking to get a touch. 2% left. They're backing to point. Baptiste, huge play getting back to point, and huge freeze as well. This is giving them a very, very good chance. They're popping a lot of ultimates here to get that team kill, but it is 62% to 99% in St. Ambrose's favor here. Pushing back up to see if they can stall them for long enough to keep them off of point. Junkrat as well from Hawking to get some more shield break involved.
And
May
Connor,
continue. May also almost discovered by that arrow there, but was not seen. Let's see if they picked a good. They made a good decision going up instead of forward, so they could not get blocked by that May going forward. 13% left of this match. Lamp goes down. Monkey dives in, getting some nice cleave damage here. It looks like 94%, 95%. Hanzo and Zen go down. Arissa's making a move towards point. It looks like Hawking takes the point.
wow, what an impressive play, Connor, as they came back. And how about they got pushed back? You didn't think Hawking was going to have a chance. St. Ambrose with all the information, or all the momentum their way, they get back on point. A huge blizzard, a huge play, and they take the point, and they never let it up. And they win round one.
Like I said, they're very close in skill for these teams. You know, it just takes a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of communication with each other, and they can get things done. This is a very, very skilled team on both sides here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go down and let's see if Hawking College can win this next round, win the same game mode, and pull out this map win to help them towards the NECC playoffs.
It's looking like a very interesting composition for St. Ambrose here. It looks like a dive comp with a Winston Diva coming out with a Reaper, Sombra. It looks like monkey on monkey here. Reinhardt still at the forefront of Hawking. Not wanting to switch that. Reinhardt working very well for them. Reaper's in the background, gets a pick on the Junkrat. Maywall in the middle of the point, making things a little difficult, but moving forward. Anna being dove on by Monkey, and St. Ambrose pretty assertively takes that point with their new composition.
And Connor, what is that communication like behind the scenes to change that comp? Is that something that you've maybe seen, or a dive comp that you've used before? What do you think that communication was there by their team?
Well, the communication was most likely something along the lines of, I want to try a dive comp here. I want to try to fight back into them. Not all the characters are the perfect dive characters. You know, Reaper's pretty good in the close combat. You know, Sombra, if you coordinate well, can be really great. Sombra's a great dive character. Moira and Lucio are pretty good dive supports, although their range is limited. Moira can't go quite as far as a Mercy, for example. But it looks like they're built more for like a dive brawl more than anything, and it looks like it's working very, very well for them. Diva takes out the Winston, but Hanzo from Hawking takes out Lucio. Reaper takes out Anna from Hawking, and then Moira Ultimate takes out 3 Zarya, Junkrat, and Hanzo. Great ultimate usage there by the supports.
Wow.
It looks like St. Ambrose has ultimate advantage as well. They have Beat and Primal, where they only have Junkrat Tire currently. Hawking has Nano and Tire, but Winston ult Primal is about to be there as well, and if Hanzo can do some good damage, it looks like Hanzo will have his ult reasonably quick as well. Wasted Tire went after the Reaper, and Reaper faded out, but it looks like St. Ambrose is working very well as a team here, kind of playing together. Sombra's back, trying to get as many hacks off as possible. Lots of ults here on St. Ambrose. It looks like Reaper, ult, and EMP go together very well here for St. Ambrose, and they're pushing Hawking back to spawn. 90% to 0. This is the last 9% of the game if Hawking can't get a touch here. Dragons coming from Hawking. Winston, Primal trying to get over there. Overtime is triggered. Great job by the Lucio there. Underrated play by these supports from both sides here. Diva Bomb goes off from St. Ambrose. Takes out Hanzo and Lucio on Hawking. Zarya still on point here, taking on the Reaper, Diva, and It looks like Moira there. Farah back on point, fighting with the Diva. Farah goes down, and it looks like it'll be 100-0 for point number 2.
Wow,
St.
and
Ambrose.
just pure aggression there by St. Ambrose. And like you said, Connor, one of the things that you've pointed out throughout this entire match, through every map, St. Ambrose able to regroup and just stay together as a team as they do dive and brawl a lot. They stay grouped up. I mean, I think if you're in the NECC right now and you're paying attention to what's happening in this Champions Division, you have to be on the lookout for St. Ambrose.
These are very, very skilled teams, but St. Ambrose is sticking together and they're playing so cohesively. I can only imagine they've decided their shot callers and they're following to it to a T. They have their match callers, they have their ultimate tracking down, and it looks like they are very, very used to playing with each other, which are all good things in the Champions Division.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This round will decide it, and on this map, whoever wins this will win this third final map here in this match. Let's get into it.
St. Ambrose going middle back to point, and looks like they're holding point fairly steadily here. Hawking's Reinhardt shield goes down and then gets picked early. Let's see if the Mercy can get a res off. Looks like she does. Big bubble from Zarya to keep that Mercy alive. Mercy was very low there. And it looks like they're pushing back. Still a 6v6 now. Reinhardt being a little aggressive, caught in a Junkrat trap. Fire strikes off. Nade comes off from Ana, but only saves the Reinhardt. No anti to be seen. Baptiste AoE healing. Reinhardt very, very aggressive and sort of alone here. Gets picked by the Sigma Orisa. Sigma and Orisa very low here. Same with Reaper. It looks like Torbjorn has also gone low, and it looks like Hawking's going to back up here with St. Ambrose really pushing forward, taking the lead and taking charge here. But Hawking is regrouped, and they're pushing back this time from middle, seeing if they can come from the stairs. Here comes Dragons to get them some AoE onto point so they can move their way onto point. Junkrat Tire comes out as well here, going for the back line. Both healers go down, which is always a bad thing for any team. They're still fighting. They don't fight for very long, though. That was a team kill in record speeds once the supports went down.
Wow, impressive. And just like you say, how about the supports for St. Ambrose, just keeping them alive as all the pressure coming from Hawking, and it's just not getting through.
Supports are definitely the most important, some of the most important plays in the game. You know, if your supports go down like that right there, it is almost impossible to win a team fight. Both support Ana and Mercy got picked there with that Sigma ult and was picked, so it looks like Hawking's gonna have to back out again. 80% for St. Ambrose. Hawking maybe has enough time for one more push if they can get quite possibly a Lucio or some other fast composition. 90%. Like Ryan's pushing through again. Comp team's got the same grab, and Shadow goes through. Ryan gets trapped by Junkrat, brings it to overtime with Ana though. Ana, the supports tending to be very, very strong for Hawking here, getting on point, causing that overtime, but it just was not enough. They were too spread out. That's another team kill by St. Ambrose. Good games all the way around.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Ambrose University takes down Hawking College 3-0 in this week 3 matchup. Let's go to the Helix Esports play of the game and see what this looks like. It's a Mora play. Talk about supports, Connor.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, there was a lot of, you know, coalescence that was done tonight when Moira was being played, you know, and the rest of the team did a really good job of getting the other team low so Moira could come through and get that massive area damage, you know, and chunk everybody else off for the rest of the time. Now it looks like, you know, the supports were key part for both teams today, and it looks like the tanks really did their best they could on both sides, and they were really shot calling and, you know, making, you know, the decisions that they need to make to keep their teams together and cohesive, and I think both teams did a really good job of both those things tonight.
Absolutely. And Connor, I think one of the things that you touched on throughout this entire match is how about the play, not just by St. Ambrose. I know it's hard but Connor, this game was a lot closer than that 3-0 score would indicate for sure.
Oh, for sure. You know, its scoreboard doesn't say everything. There was a lot of heart in this match. Team never gave up. Hawking was very close for all those points, sometimes even within meters of St. Ambrose.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Ambrose takes down Hawking College 3-0 in this series here in week 3. We want to remind you, 5 days a week, there's esports action right here live at the NECC. Come join us tomorrow night. And my man Ethan, as you have League of Legends, you'll have a League of Legends match right here on Twitch. Twitch.tv/NECC_esports. We appreciate you being here. And Connor, the Overwatch divisions here in the NECC are not, and they do not disappoint on this Overwatch Wednesday.
Even when it's a 3-0 match, it is always, always, always exciting and closer than you'd think.
Absolutely. We want to say thank you one last time to our partners. Thank you to our friends at Helix Esports for allowing us to do what we do. And of course, thank you to our linear TV partner, ESTV, now available on Samsung TV Plus and the Roku app, bringing you esports action 24/7 from all over the world. And of course, the NFL Alumni Association, past and present players getting involved in esports. For our commissioner, Jacob Van Ryan, big thank you. And of course, our executive producer this evening and director of esports, Caleb Glooby, behind the scenes, making it go well. Connor, thank you for spending your Wednesday nights with me, man. I appreciate it so much.
I'm always happy to be here. I'll see you next week.
I love it. Guys, for Connor Breeze and everyone here at the NECC, my name is Jaron Bell. I hope you enjoyed this Week 3 matchup at Overwatch Wednesdays. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic night. Stay blessed, and college esports lives here.